NCRP Productions presents Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands, Episode 61. Welcome back to Unhallowed Metropolis, Secrets in the Sands. This is Barry, your Game Master. I am going to go around the room. We are going to again have Matt coming in a little bit later. He will be playing Ayden, but besides him we have...
Hi, I'm Jill, and I'm playing Raya the Mourner.
Hello, I'm Dr. Everett Wolfe, the doctor specializing in chemistry and alchemy.
Hey, it's Sequoia, and I am running Frankie the Undertaker.
Hey everybody, it's Pedro, and I'm running Desmond, Wright, the doctor and gunslinger.
Well, wow, last week, right?
Oh my god.
Let's start the quick startup to this. Malcolm, our ruby red masked Novus Day leader and potentially noble, has spoken with Raya and cut a deal whereby you guys would come together and discuss what you're going to do with the stones. Raya presently in possession of one of the stones, and someone amongst Malcolm's group, supposedly at least, in possession of the other stone. You guys were unsuccessful finding the Dayas. Ayden has been spored in some form. Dr. Wolfe believes that he has got him out of the worst of it. And the group is now around the original campfire that you guys had prior to going into the area around KV-23 and the whole rundown with Novus Day, the head-to-head. As we were finishing discussion where Malcolm, very reasonably in my opinion, had offered to take both stones and leave you guys without any problems to deal with, and he would take care of, as he said, the prophecy, which is to stop the Golden King from ascending and destroying the world. Let's just put it there in short.
See, I will take both stones. I will resolve my problems, and you get left with nothing.
Well,
it seems like a win-win to me.
To that note, Frankie and Raya both kept asking, well, when that was done, what would you do with the stones? And he said, even to the point where you tried to read him, he said he didn't need them after that point. Once it was done, he didn't need them. Now, I agree. He did not say you can have them, but he said he didn't need them.
Honestly, pretty reasonable overall. This is a really amicable situation comparatively.
Kind of a good guy. Except that Cal has told you they're not.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Cal's wrong in this situation. You guys should take care of Cal.
All right. So, as the discussion came down, there basically was a question which was, Dr. Wright, are you leading the group or not? Dr. Wright and Dr. Wolfe had a heart-to-heart around the campfire that made everybody else completely uncomfortable. And then Dr. Wright said, I'm basically done with this. You guys make your own decisions. You can lead. And he got up. Dr. Wolfe reached out, grabbed him, spun him around. Dr. Wright, in his hand, had his gun out, waited for a moment to have Dr. Wolfe unhand him, and then shot him. Now, before we go forward, Dr. Wolfe, I think most of the people listening would like to have some idea of how this came around, and there's a prophecy, a vision, a stream of thought. Can you kind of go over what happened?
Excuse me. Yes. So, I don't even remember what episode the whole cave visions things was happening. It was some time back.
It was a while ago.
So there were several visions that maybe were just purely fever-induced. Maybe there was something more going on. It's never been entirely clear, but certain things have been matching up in the game with certain things from the vision. The gin on his lips, the bindings having to break free, sort of having an opposition to try and stop him from achieving something in the form of Marood, even if he didn't fully recognize it at the time, and even a green light that was there. Now, whether the green light has been fully fulfilled or not is another story. As far as the player knows, it's been fulfilled. I see the green light. I've been seeing this.
You even saw the green light around this fire, where Dr. Wright had asked Malcolm and the rest of Novus Day to explain about the magic, and Malcolm explained it's not magic, it's alchemy, and showed him the effects of it happening. Dr. Wolfe, you got to see that green light.
I did see the green light, and it's whether the ambience in this area is there or not, it's another story. regardless, there's a lot of subconscious things, but there's 2 more visions that are left. One is that they're entirely encircled by all the other characters. Whether they're active or not is another story. And it's just him and Wright in the center. And no one tries to help Wolfe in that moment. And, well, at this moment, it was rather quick. And it makes sense because everyone was trying to keep things calm. But Wright shoots and kills Wolfe. Or at least kills, and I put in quotation because the vision just smashes to the next thing.
Once it, yes.
Yeah. That isn't the final vision and left, but the only other vision after that is Wolfe waking up and Wright helping him out, and he basically peels him out of his skin. He's nothing but skeletons and stuff like that. But right now is the circle. Everyone's around him. Wright has just shot him. And Wolfe subconsciously had the moment of like, oh, this reminds me of something. And then a more instinctual, possibly bestial, yet still malevolently intelligent part of himself was the thing that grabbed Wright and swung him around, because there's that deep, dark desire. As noble as his desire to evolve is, to bring to everyone else, there's also a selfishness there, a want for this to happen, and that's the aspect that acted and turned Wright.
That selfishness has been there from the beginning. You injected yourself with the Thrope Serum in an attempt to create longevity or infinite life.
Not necessarily infinite life. Better progression for people, but his selfishness is, I was the one who turned to myself first.
Right.
That dark little seed, that hubris has been building up. And of course, if we want to go in a full Jekyll and Hyde situation, that's really what the other side of the Hyde is all those darker negative aspects.
And also last session I intimated to you guys that I had a completely different ending for that episode, and it was abruptly stopped. So, everyone take a breath, and we will start. Dr. Wright, give me a roll for the gun.
Damage or to hit?
To hit.
I mean, he's got me dead to rights. He has on there.
He does have you dead to rights.
So I think it's really just damage at that point.
Okay.
It's right in the torso. It's like we're right there.
Well, then I guess I'll use one of my rerolls. I guess I'll use another one of my rerolls.
Good God, man.
So that's pistol. Sorry. 21.
21?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, you needed an 11. So, go ahead and roll me a location first.
He's just going to aim right to the head. Do it. Do it head. Head.
14.
And that's where we all thought, straight to the torso.
Yep.
We're going to go upper chest with that, and
maximum
let's hear some damage.
Maximum damage.
No.
Maximum.
Not maximum.
Kill me right.
No, it's bullshit damage. I can't re-roll that, can I?
Cannot re-roll
Cannot
damage.
reroll damage.
Alright, so then it's 11.
All right, so before we go any farther with that, would you have endeavored to have shot him on the fly or aimed for something substantial? Was your objective to put him down or move him off you? What do you envision in that quick moment?
Put him down, because I
Put him
figure
down.
the wolf is coming out.
All right, very good. So the shot ends up being for damage a 16, which is a serious wound.
Right to the... Good enough, because I think that puts Wolfe down.
Well, Dr. Wolfe, let me ask you this. I need to have a coordination roll first from you.
Have you thought you might be dead already?
We're about to find out.
Terrible sentence.
He's half dead.
14 on the coordination.
All right, so you are
but
able
that's-
to maintain your hold on Dr. Wright for the moment.
But I have a -2, and I took a serious wound, so I have to roll a throat roll.
Yep. That's the first part.
Well, I succeeded that, but
Okay. So,
but he's not letting go.
no, he does not let go, but it is serious damage.
Yeah.
So the shot that you took didn't end up going straight as it was brought up and shot up through the shoulder and out the back. You wouldn't see out the back, but you can see that the bleeding is substantial.
Okay.
He has not released you yet.
And I will say, let go of me, wolf.
And for the rest of you, let's everyone roll initiative.
I think we all want to roll
Oh,
initiative.
you-
I think that surprise round is over.
Yep.
You all know that it wouldn't actually hurt him. It's like me just stabbing him lightly with a knife. It's not going to eventually actually do anything.
Raya.
19.
That was worse.
Frankie.
25.
Wolf.
I have no negatives, so that's a 19.
19 for Wright. Wolf.
That is a 20 with the negatives right now.
Gotcha.
Wait, does the negative affect initiative?
Everything.
Oh, 22.
Very good.
Oh wait, Barry, actually, I'm at 22 because would that count for fast draw?
Yeah, it would.
Cool.
All right.
So,
Frankie, you would be the actual first. What are you doing? You've been talking, you've been defending your position that you don't want to just simply give him the stone, but you've been asking what happens if we do. Your focus was across the campfire towards Malcolm.
Yeah, so I hear a
You did
gunshot.
hear the commotion. When you turn, when you turn to really focus is when the shot goes off, and from where you're at, you notice that the bullet goes through Dr. Wolfe's back.
I'm going to try to tackle Wright.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an attack roll. That will be your
Unarmed
combat. You're going to be rolling against Dr. Wright, your coordination.
4.
You'll need a 15 or better to tackle him.
Reroll.
Help me, Frankie.
Okay, not great.
Spend a chip if you need to.
Help me, Franklin. You're my only hope.
15.
So with a 15, so what do you envision? You said tackle, and I would envision you basically grab both sides of his chest with your body, with the force of your body, knock him to the sand.
Thinking I'd come in from the side.
And knock him to the sand.
Yeah.
That's the objective. So at this point, then, Dr. Wolfe, I need you to give me a vitality roll. Yes, that's correct.
I didn't think about
Vitality
that.
roll.
I don't want to get wolfed.
that is 23.
Okay, and now give me a coordination roll, or else you're getting pulled over. He chooses not to release.
Yeah.
That is a 14.
It's gonna hurt
Okay,
me.
so you stumble a bit, and you can choose. Do you release him in the end as he goes to the ground? And you're going to recognize at some point that Frankie has tackled him, but not necessarily immediately.
That's a
Or
good
would you
question.
hold on?
I think the wolf side wants to let go. The other side, the selfish side, doesn't.
So which side wins?
The selfish one.
Okay, so what happens? Frankie, you will tackle Wright from the side. You knock him down. You feel that strain as he's turned partially towards where Dr. Wolfe is holding on to him. Dr. Wolfe is not weak and gets pulled forward. You stumble forward, you flip, and you, still holding a piece of him, land on your back behind him. So we have you laid out, Frankie on right and Wolfe at a diagonal in the stand. All three of you in the sand. That was your first action, Frankie.
Now I want to grab Wright's gun and throw it away.
That's my gun.
Very good. So I'm going to have you do a coordination roll, and Dr. Wright, you are going to be making a coordination roll, but you will be having a -3, it looks like.
Oh my god. Coordination. So with a -3, that's 18.
I got a 15.
Okay, so you go to pull the gun from him, and he's surprisingly strong, holds onto it and wrenches it out of your grip.
No.
Okay, I punch him in the head.
Okay.
Of course.
It's only so many.
I was like, how many times have you been punched in the head? That's the thing. We're working towards concussions.
I was just joking that like my nose keeps getting broken and fixed, broken and fixed. And I just have to get hit an an even number of times. Wait, it'd be even number.
right.
19.
So with a 19, that's going to absolutely hit.
Oh, is there a... Ugh, jeez. I'm punching him in the head. I don't
Right,
want
there's
to
a
roll.
-3.
Yeah. So-
Now, is the objective to kill him or knock him out? 'Cause
Knock
those
him
are
out.
two different.
Or-
All right, so you're
yeah.
adding 5 to your roll.
Okay. 7. Do I just do the straight roll for fist damage?
So you're adding 5,
Okay.
adding your vitality,
Okay.
and right, I need to know your vitality.
It's a 4. I'm gonna go out. I mean,
But then -3, so 18.
So an 18, so 14. You added the
Yeah.
+5 for the headshot. So with a 14, that is a serious wound. Go ahead and give me a
what the
roll.
me?
You.
No, not me. 3.
Okay, so the gun ends up going flying. You are knocked senseless, but not out.
Okay.
Any more actions, Frankie?
Nope, that's me.
So I
Dr.
have
Wright.
a serious wound to my head.
But it's stunned.
Okay, it's stunned.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So it's having an effect, not direct damage control.
Frankie, get off of me! The doctors are having a discussion right now.
It's not the time.
It wasn't my choice. He started the discussion. Let us finish it. You both got in the way of this the last time. And I'm pointing at you and Raya.
You can't table it till the.
Is the
Ryan,
one
you'll
who just
notice
went...
that Malcolm is watching this just with his arms crossed.
I do look at Dr. Wolfe though. Do you look crazy?
He's looking rather blank at the moment. Like, whether it's because the wind was knocked out of him or at the moment, but like he has not let his left hand has not let go of right. It's got like a freaking death grip onto his robes as he's just sort of staring there. And you said there's a lot of blood coming out,
Oh, yeah.
which is unusual because we haven't had a lot of blood coming
Oh
out.
my god, you're right.
There's all this blood coming out, and he's starting to breathe heavy, and maybe he's starting to go into shock because he was just shot.
Very legitimate. So the flicker of the firelight, of course, doesn't make him look great, but
I'm not moving.
Do you think if I thought that would kill him, I would have done it? He's a damn throat, for God's sakes!
and you will watch a definite recognition of that word by Malcolm. Raya.
So how about you get off of me and let me talk to Dr. Wright?
Wolf.
Well, fucking hell! I'm talking to myself! I have a goddamn concussion, Frankie! You hit me in the fucking head again! When have I ever hit you in the head?
This is the worst possible time you could do this.
Yes, well, it's the worst possible time for you to tackle me, so we're all at fault here.
I'm gonna lick my palm.
No! Frankie, no!
Yeah, I'm not moving.
Do you have another action still?
Yeah, I got 3 actions. I mean,
He's just yelled at me so far.
yeah.
Talking's a free action, damn it.
I'll say, Frankie, I don't want to hurt you. Get off of me so I can talk to Wolfe.
I'm not getting off of you. You have to calm down.
Do I look uncalm? Okay, I guess I am a little uncalm. Frankie, do you really think I can't control myself?
You just shot our party mate.
When have I ever in my life that you've known me done anything without thinking about it? Anything!
Doctor, you're obviously compromised. I'm not letting you up.
No matter
And
how
I'm gonna
many-
punch you again if you don't stop talking.
say
On my turn.
I'm gonna say, no matter how many times you and Raya say that, just because you say I'm crazy doesn't make me crazy, and I'll just lay my head on the frickin' sand. I don't want to hurt any of you. You all have done this. Everything wrong that has happened on this trip has been because of you all. Think about it, Frankie.
You're gonna save Dr. Wolfe's life, or I don't even want to know what I'm gonna do.
If you think that I actually want Dr. Wolfe dead, Frankie, you really don't know anything about me.
You shot him.
Yes, Frankie. And I'm a doctor. I'm intelligent. I know what I'm doing. He is a thrope.
He's not doing it now.
Well, if you would get off me and let me go talk to him like I said, maybe I could figure something out, Frankie. But no, here you are, still on top of me.
You can talk from here.
Oh, Dr. Wolfe, could you please describe your wounds to me? Oh, Frankie, I guess that didn't work very well, did it, Frankie? I'm not trying to be an asshole here. I'm trying to make a point.
I'm gonna look to see if I make eye contact with Callum Rude.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look at Callan Maroon.
Well, so from your angle,
Yeah, I'm gonna look like, are you kidding me?
Callum and Road are talking right now.
Looking for Raya. We need to bind him.
That's what you yelled at Raya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's great. I can really help him with my hands bound. That's gonna be great.
Is it an action to, like, cover his mouth with my hand?
I lick your hand.
I don't watch him.
So what I'll do is I'll hold your last action, Dr. Wright,
Yeah, I mean, I'll hold it. That's fine.
and we will move
Dodge
on
your
to
fist.
Dr. Wolfe.
He bleeds.
So you are feeling some pain.
Which is
some distress.
Which is actually since given everything, it's like, oh my god, I actually feel something. Oh god, my light, everything's going dark. I'm assuming, I know it's a serious wound. I'm just assuming because I don't know what or how this is healing at all. You know, that this is like, oh god, I'm actually dying right now. That was, there's some part of his brain that's going like, how close was that to my, oh, that was real close to the ventricle. Oh. Oh, that was, oh, he was aiming to kill me. There's some part of him that's like that detached bit, but there's another part of him that's just starting to get swept away into, I don't want to say necessarily visions, but almost in a trance. He's not doing much of anything. But he almost swears he hears a chuckle in the back of his mind. Soon. Soon. But he doesn't really know what to think of that. Maybe that's just the back of his chatter or some dark hope. He's not sure. He's not doing anything other than just holding on.
Okay, very
That's all
good.
you need to know.
Raya.
How close is the gun to me?
Well, everything's going to be in a movement for you.
Okay, so on my first action, I'm going to go pick up his gun
Okay.
and put it in the back of my belt.
Okay.
I'm going to look at Malcolm and say, my apologies. Many of the people in our group are bloodthirsty killers, apparently. Please excuse the
I don't even kill anybody right now.
fight.
You have blood on you from not like
And
20 minutes ago.
Then my second action, I'm going to go over to Wolfe. I'm going to rip some of the fabric from my skirt, and I'm going to put it on his wound.
Right.
I'll
Try and
say
staunch the
that
blood.
wasn't sanitized.
And I'm going to say, Wolfe, you need to help me here. I don't know how to do medicine. You have to give me instructions.
There's one of us that does.
Okay.
And unfortunately, there's too much blood coming out of Wolf's
We
mouth
don't know.
because his ventricle was clipped.
We don't even know if he still is a thrope. We don't know.
Well, then let me up so I can look at him.
Ryan,
You
go
have
ahead,
my
give me-
gun.
Give me a willpower roll.
Oh dear. Oh no.
So he just sticks the kukri down further.
16.
Okay. Frankie, it's going to only really matter to you because the two of them have other thoughts in their heads. Give me a wits perception roll.
I'm not good at that. 13.
So you'll see Malcolm stand up, walk over to where Raya is by Wolfe. What you hear him say is, maybe I can help if you were to apply pressure here and here. But what you will hear is, give me the stone. And you feel a compulsion to give it to him. I need you to make another willpower roll.
Yes, we're going to fucking bounce.
The consequences of your actions.
Well.
All right, peanut gallery.
I'm sorry.
18.
Am I the one?
All right, so with an 18, you don't choose to give it to him, and you do hear him saying the end of the speech, pressure right here, which you kind of refocus again and put pressure. He also places his hand there, and for you, Frankie, if you have some concern about him, he pulls something out of a pocket, but then brings it and shakes it out, and it looks to be some kind of maybe cloth, which he then places down in the area where you've seen Raya's in his hand. And you can feel him as he wraps it, slides it under your hand, and puts pressure on your hand. We will go back up to Frankie. And again, we're kind of in and out of actions. Really, it's a matter of who gets to act first if you guys do something.
Well, Frankie, what are you gonna do?
You're gonna help him?
That is what I've been saying. Yes.
Okay, I let him up.
Okay, Dr. Wright, what do? You can see that both Malcolm and Raya have something shoved onto the wound.
Run
There's a
a-
lot of blood.
So I stand up and look at Frankie and I say, I lean close and I say, watch the Novus Day and do. And I stop. Say, Frankie, just be a good boy and go make sure the Novus Day don't kill us. That one is suspicious. It was a bad idea for them to be here. And I'll walk past you to...
It's literally, I mean, you're
I mean,
moving.
yeah, you can just roll over.
Right.
Oh, it's that close?
Yeah, I mean, he was...
Oh,
right
if
on
he's
the
that
ground.
close, then I probably don't want him to hear that. So
Yeah,
I
he
thought
would
we were some
absolutely-
No,
distance.
but I can see you
Okay.
quietly.
Yeah.
So you roll
So
over.
then I'll say move to both of them.
Do you back away when Wright tells you to back away?
Yeah, I'll back away.
And
He's
so,
going to actually do his job and be a
and
doctor.
so does Malcolm. So, for you got to get to the wound, which means you strip a blood-soaked outer skin from him.
Mm-hmm.
You strip a secondary skin from him, his bloody shirt, his bloody cloak, and you now have him down to the skin.
Oh, well, I mean...
that burnt, crispy skin.
Yes. I mean, honestly, for a second, I'm going to be fascinated because he's finally bleeding again.
Right? Nice, clean, as much as it can be in this place.
And
nice, clean bleed.
I'll look at him and say, I am sorry it had to come to that, my boy. And I'm going to get to work.
Okay.
And I'm just going to talk to him, and I'm going to say, you know, I think we should probably reevaluate how we interact with one another, because I think we've slipped away from our witty banter and got into a little bit more hurtful territory.
So I want to use my other actions.
Yes.
I want to... Are Cal and Rude still talking?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go over to them.
And they'll look up from where they're talking. Like, Frankie?
Should we just kill them?
I don't... Cal seems to be at a loss for words, which does not seem normal. Cal says, I don't know what to do. I don't trust them.
No.
I don't think you do either.
No, I think they're dirtbags.
But at the same time, if what he's saying is true, and he absolutely seems to believe it, much like a fanatic would, I'm not certain what to do.
If we take them and kill them, and take
Yes.
the stones.
Yes. Then we have 2 of the 3 items that we need. But what if he's right? What if this is something where a greater evil... I mean, he seems to believe it's a greater evil than the animates. He doesn't speak of the animates at all.
I mean, we could always, post them to France when we're done.
Well, there's more to it, I would think. I don't think it's that simple. You have heard something of what's going on in France.
I don't think he has.
Okay.
I mean, Frankie talks to Raya.
So what does Frankie tell him?
I don't know anything about France.
Well, let me give you the short of it. France, years back, suddenly became dark. And when I say dark, I don't mean just they stopped communicating, but embassies started closing. The French no longer traveled. Periodically, refugees have appeared in London and other places, most of them with very little control of their mental faculties anymore. I know that some people from the Explorer Society have gone into France with the intent of figuring out what's going on. Only one has ever come out, and he lived but an hour or 2 in anyone's arms, speaking of monsters walking the streets. The tales get crazier. If you listen to what's being said in the papers, if you read the Penny Dreadfuls, and I will admit that I've read quite a few, you will know that there's something more going on there. The king, as he calls him, as Malcolm calls him, the Golden King, if it's to be believed, he has reigned since the 40s, the 1940s.
So he's something.
Right.
I got the impression that these were evil men, but
Novus Dei, I don't think that they're doing anything different here, but Novus Dei is not good. These are not people that stand for an honest way of life.
the things you've heard, could it be explained away by them trying to find these artifacts? I mean, I would do terrible things for our country.
In the same way that Wright explains things away, yes, I believe so. That the end justifies all the means, I guess it could be. Could they be fanatical? Almost assuredly. Would that fanaticism allow them to do things in the name of the end result that were horrifying? Yes, I believe so. If they are fighting this, then there's even some sensibility to why they're collecting the items that they collect. I can see that.
Have you heard anything at all about a prophecy out of France about this before?
No, never. But then remember, almost completely closed off for many, many years. And I will admit, my connections are good. I've been able to speak to many people, but they're not that good. I don't have connections at the political level. So step back for everyone, just so that you remember, because it's been so many episodes, and then a couple of years before it, you stitch one pearl too.
He's eating bits of it.
It's cooked to it's rare. It's perfect.
You're never so hungry.
I do have something before he's finished dipping me up, but I'll wait for your step back.
I'll go back into just for all of you and for the listeners. Cal, at one point, was Katie. And Katie is from the Lyman family, a family of aristocracy and potentially nobility. Katie ran in the same circles that Grayling, who is your patron, Grayling runs in. Potentially is not a better family by station, but a better family by virtue. And by virtue of her being female and exceptionally intelligent, she was able to use her feminine wiles to get places where Grayling would never have even had a chance to go. As Cal, he has not lost any of that knowledge. But again, with Katie and Cal were never involved in politics. So back to you and Cal talking, I don't know, Frankie. I'm uncertain.
Me too. And I don't usually feel that way. And then I'm going to turn back to whatever's going on over there.
Okay. So as you step back, Raya, Malcolm has stepped back with you. I'm going to have you give me one more willpower roll.
23.
Okay. So with a 23, you do not feel compelled at all for anything. And you're aware that you feel better. You maybe it was the gunshot, maybe it was the fear of Wolfe dying, but you feel like you've come up from under some kind of a weight. And you'll notice that Malcolm not in any weird way, but Malcolm steps away from you, where for a few minutes there he was very close to you. And again, nothing strange, but he has moved away from you, and actually he walks over to the other two Novistae and sits down.
I'm going to empty all of the bullets out of Wright's gun.
What are you doing with them?
I am scattering them to the sands.
Oh.
Not into the fire?
No.
Cut to years later, poor Bedouin making a fire there.
I am going to keep his gun
Okay.
in my bag.
All right. So you're going to go to the camels and put it in your bag? Or are you just going to keep it in your back right now?
Yeah, just in my back right
Okay.
now. I'm going to tell everyone, let's let Dr. Wright continue tending to Wolfe.
Cal is giving you a come here kind of finger draw.
Everyone else, let's just make camp here for tonight, and we will continue our discussion. I look at Malcolm tomorrow morning when we're all a little bit more rested and cooler heads have prevailed. I'll go over to Cal.
I think that makes sense. You go over to Cal. Dr. Wolfe.
So there's this moment where he's in the haze state and things. And he's just in this weird moment of, like, that weird moment between wakefulness and dreaming, I want to say, blood loss has a funny way of affecting you.
Oh, yes.
And especially, it's been a real long time since he's had experienced blood loss, especially to this degree. But there's sparks of, like, those moments where, like, sparks of light are going through in front of his vision, and he can't see it. He can't see the one light color, and then his right hand specifically comes up and grabs Wolfe, because there's just one moment of lucidity in his head, and he
grabs Wright.
Yeah, he
Dr.
grabs Dr. Wright. Not horribly, like trying to stop him or anything.
So
but
you put your hand on him.
I'm putting my hand on him.
The scalpel I have in my hand from working, I like hold to see where this goes,
Yeah.
but Wolfe,
Light.
light.
Show me the green light.
Malcolm, quick, could you and your men come over here and show me the green light once more? Just once more here, Doctor. Please, this will help Dr. Wolfe.
So Malcolm leans in, obviously is saying something to them, and the three of them walk over, and he looks down and says, Doctor?
We have been through a lot. I will explain afterwards, but if you do this and it works, something amazing may happen.
You can even see through just the eye slits that he kind of narrows his eyes. He says, you do realize it's costly, and we have a limited number of times we can do this. What do you need?
I just need you to produce it so that Wolfe can see it.
The full light?
Just the green light, yes.
Does it need to be the light that we show, or any green light?
Do you have a smaller one? Just quick, a green light. Let's start with the smaller one if you have it.
So he says something, obviously in French, to one of his men, and he runs over to the fire, comes back with a brand. Malcolm takes a hold of it, and where do you want the light?
Light the green light and wave it above him. In front of his face.
He holds the brand nowhere near to in front of his face, and then reaches into his pocket.
And I'll grab Wolfe's, arm right by his wrist, and I'll say, "It's coming, my boy."
And he holds his hand to it, and then turns it, and green light, more in the stardusty look, kind of showers down. None of it gets more than 4 inches below the flame before it disappears.
And I'll look to him.
But the green light is there.
Not right.
Not right.
We need the full one. Those amphetamines I told you, I will give them to you. All you need to do is produce the full light.
Doctor, that's not necessary. You give me a moment. And he says something again, and they come over. The three of them do their hands above Dr. Wolfe's face. And they set it off. So for you, it's the same thing. There'll be a light glow, and then it'll brighten up. It will shoot up. But this time, if you happen to watch it, and for any of you that are watching it, it literally goes up in the sky and nothing more. It doesn't go anywhere.
And then as right before it goes, because I've seen it before, I'll say, "Wolfe, look! Gaze upon it!"
And Wolfe, for a moment as he sees it, it's there spiraling. He sees the fists come together, and he sees the thing, and it seems like magic. It does.
It does seem like
magic. But there's a part of his brain now in this weird lucid state that connects. Pieces come together. And there's a choking sort of laugh as he just realizes what it is. He understands it. Even though he can't really see exactly what's coming out of the gloves or what it is, the equations click into place. And his mind opens beyond new possibilities, alchemies, things he could do just by this. And this expands his mind further, justifying it to get my alchemy up to 6 as well. But there's something else there as his face almost reaches up into it for just a moment. He breathes it in, and that's when it goes straight up. And he goes, and he's just lying there, lost in whatever it is. And there's just this serene smile on his face as he's just like, I understand. As the light is just going, and for some reason, maybe
Gets
he's
past the
imagining
clouds.
it. Maybe he's imagining it, but he almost feels like he's going up, past the clouds, to the stars, to the infinite cosmos beyond. Maybe that's just his imagination.
Give me a vitality roll. Subtract 2 from it.
Burn every single chip in this damn center.
You mean my my will roll or my
Nope.
my vitality?
Please spend a
Dr.
chip.
Wright, for
Oh.
you, once they've done it, Malcolm will say, "It's that all you needed, Doctor?"
Yes. Now watch.
Very good. And the two walk away, but Malcolm will stay and watch.
Well, the real question is whether or not I want high or low, and we don't know.
What'd you get?
Well, I got a total after all my penalties. I got a 9. So if it's low,
Go
I think we're in
high.
a good spot.
Go
Please
high.
spend a chip.
We don't know. I mean, he's got a good point. You gotta just.
What are you going to go
Oh,
with?
that's
Follow
actually a
your
good
heart,
question.
Michael.
Go with your gut.
I think he needs to surrender to it, to whatever's just happening here. So I'm going to go with the fail.
All right.
Just
So, Dr. Wright, after that kind of odd, hazy look, his eyes gloss over, and then they shut, and his head lolls to the side.
Wolfe.
You'll notice that the blood has slowed from the wound.
Okay.
You would have expected that anyway.
Okay. What I would effectively do is, see if he's still alive.
Everything else is good,
And then
but he's out.
Then I would be looking at the wound, because what I'm looking for is any kind of knitting back together. I'm trying to see if his throat genes are back.
Gotcha. All right.
So I'm basically probably like face deep in this wound, just like,
So, back to Cal, Marood, Frankie, and Raya. So, Raya, you came over there.
Yeah. So
And-
Cal called me over.
Yep. So, with Frankie there, Cal is going to say, so Frankie doesn't know. What are we doing? What is the plan? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, it sounds like there's a real problem in France. And it sounds
I believe
like
that's true.
that problem is going to be on our doorstep before we know it.
I think that's possible.
I think we need to join forces with them to put a stop to it, and then we can deal with our own problem.
So you're suggesting we go to France.
I'm suggesting we go to France.
So Cal looks at Marood, and Marood is passive for a few moments, and then nods his head once. Cal says, if that's what you wish, Marood and I can put off what we're doing and join you. If you believe, if you are that certain.
I'm that certain. If any of you don't want to go, I totally understand.
So they're both looking at Frankie while Raya's talking.
If you don't think that Dr. Wolfe or Ayden can make the trip, I understand. But I think we need to go and help them.
Cal says, believe that Ayden may be imperative if we do choose to go there. You're talking about being in prophecies. Wouldn't he be the closest thing to a expert?
I agree. I think Ayden would be vital. I think both of the doctors, as much as I hate to say this about Wright, would be vital to have their help.
Frankie, you're being awfully quiet.
I don't trust them,
I don't either.
but I think that they believe in this prophecy. And from everything I've heard about France, it sounds like a very dangerous place, and it sounds like this could become our problem real quick.
But would we be useful joining them? I'm not saying give up the stones. It was stone. It was a lot of work for Marood and I to get it. However, if you believe in the cause, do we let them go and grab them later? Or do we trek with them to try and maintain control of the stones, finish it, and bring them back to wherever you need to take them to. Grayling, I assume.
If we give them the stones, there's no guarantee we'll ever see the stones again. Our trip is for nothing if we give them the stones. Mei Ling's death is for nothing. Everything that's happened to Dr. Wolfe is for nothing.
So everybody's looking at Frankie.
Both our parties have things the other could use. They are obviously more successful at finding artifacts, and they're down quite a few hands. We could go with them. They might have a better idea of where to even find the dais.
You do?
They do. They may.
Oh, they do. And has anyone spoken with Ayden on where he thinks it might be? Do we know if Ayden even potentially wants to go?
We don't know. Ayden was obsessed with getting into that tomb and fell into a deep melancholy before he lost consciousness. I don't know if he's capable right now of answering that question.
Frankie, you still haven't answered. Do you wish to go?
I don't think there's any place that Raya would go that I wouldn't follow. I don't know this is the right choice, but I will go with you.
So then, Cal's going to look at you, Raya, and say, well, then it's your job to get the doctors on board.
Okay.
We need to get the Bedouins back to their
Yes.
tribes. We
Agreed.
cannot strand them here or expect them to ride back, even though I'm certain that honor would allow them or would force them to say they will do it without. We do need to respect that.
So I'm going to motion for Malcolm to come over.
Malcolm nods, gets up, and walks over to the four of you.
I'll put my hand on your arm before you speak. What's under the mask?
The mask?
On your face. Are you a man?
There's a chuckle. He says, yes, I am of the male persuasion.
Why do you wear it?
The mask is in honor of Novus Dei. We all wear the mask. It is to safeguard us, if you must know. Many of us hold positions in office that allows us to know things. It is the only way to keep us safe if we're ever found out.
How old are you?
I'm 35.
Do I believe him?
He sounds pretty straightforward. I mean, you may make a roll.
Sure sounds 35.
We can't see any of his skin except for his eyes.
You can just see that's the only skin that you're currently seeing.
What color are his eyes?
Well, there's a weird color shift, but you're assuming a blue or a green. Probably a blue.
We're going out on a limb with this. We're believing you at your word with no proof.
I think you have much of the proof there. Again, you must have heard what is happening. At least, if nothing else, you know that what is happening in France is happening.
We've made a group decision. We're not going to give you the stone, but we're going to accompany you to France, and we're going to help you stop the prophecy. We think that if the prophecy comes to be, your problem is going to become our problem real quick.
I believe that's true.
So...
Well, then I think our next step is to try and figure out where the Diaz is. We should bring it back.
Absolutely. Do you have any idea in the desert where it might be?
No, but I think, pointing at Ayden, I think he does.
I think he does too. Let's let him sleep for a little while, and then we'll wake him up and see what he knows.
Well, night is upon us, and I can feel it getting colder already. I think we should get close to the fire and get ourselves set.
Okay. So, we're going to shore up the camp. We're going to set up a watch with you and me, Frankie and I, and Cal and Marud.
Okay.
All taking turns. And we'll let Ayden sleep for another couple hours and
What
then
are you
wake
doing
him
with
up.
the Bedouins? There's the three Bedouins. They've kind of just been sitting there, mostly watching.
Okay.
There was some chatter when the whole battle happened, but
Cal, since you speak Egyptian, can you explain to the Bedouins what's going on and what we'll be doing? That we'll be looking for the dais.
okay. I will should I let them know that we are intending to go to France?
Let them know that we shouldn't be in the desert for too much longer, especially after we find the dais, and then we'll take them back to their
Very
people.
good. And Cal walks over and starts talking with them, and it sounds polite, and there's some nodding, and seems like the Bedouins are fine with that decision.
I start to kind of give some instructions to Billings and to...
Billings. So you have not seen Billings or Zosser since
Okay.
you came into camp. Not
Oh.
hide nor hair of him.
Oh my.
Or Zosser.
Mr. Billings? Mr. Billings?
So you don't hear anything.
Frankie, I believe we have a problem.
How did you guys get to Egypt?
We came through Alexandria. We came to Alexandria by boat. On the train into Cairo, we got our supplies, and we've been back and forth into Cairo for a while now.
Well, we got here by airship.
You have an airship?
It's not ours, and it's not chartered to go. It's chartered on a specific path.
Flight back to France would be much quicker. Could you get it to France? You say chartered.
My understanding is that France is not open to visitors.
I think that's an apt statement.
So if we take the airship to France, how do we get it out again?
Well, I was not actually thinking entering. We could take it to the port of Marseille. We could land on one of the small islets out there, disembark, boat back to the mainland. From there, there are fishing boats in the one that I'm thinking, and your airship could continue on. There would be some potential danger if we were to come that close. Another option would be to land somewhere east of Marseille, somewhere possibly around the Papal States, but then that means another trek.
It's not our choice to make, but we'll have time to discuss it as we search for the dais.
Okay, very good.
Frankie, can you take care of camp here while I find Mr. Billings?
Yeah.
So both you guys give me a wits perception roll.
19?
15.
All right, so both of you, when Raya says that, there's just something odd about Malcolm. Nothing that either of you can put a finger on. Just something odd in the way he kind of looks at Raya, takes just a little quick scan around the camp, and then steps away from you guys to go back to the other two. They go off, and moments later are starting to bring more wood in to stoke the fire.
Alright, I'm gonna go see if Wolfe's still alive.
Okay. So over there, Dr. Wright, Frankie comes over. You have finished doing the surgery.
Do I? Because my last thing was checking to see if I notice anything.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, I do want to. I stand where I can see them at all times. The Novus Day.
Well, they disappear out of the camp, but when they come into camp, you immediately. I mean, you're focused.
Yeah,
So when they come
I
into
just
camp, you'll see them.
split
and
focus.
they even Malcolm, they are all bringing back stuff that can burn,
So I'll
and it's cold.
look and
You're
see
getting to that
who's.
normal, very cold night again.
So I'll look and see who came up. See, it's you. Do you say anything to me first off?
Is he dead?
No, Frankie, it does not look like it yet. I'm waiting to see if I can see his thropeness start to begin again.
That would be helpful.
Yes. Frankie, what did I do to you for you to not trust me anymore?
Nothing to me.
I'll look at you and I'll say, you never answered me before, Frankie. Have you ever seen me to do anything without thinking it through? And I'll look directly at you.
No, but that's not all there is to the world.
Well, one thing in the world is trust, and I thought we had that, Frankie. I thought you trusted me.
I did.
Was it the Bedouins?
It was.
Frankie, if we were back at London, and you came to me and told me that there was a plague spreading, an unknown plague, and what I told you was that the best thing, in my medical opinion, was to quarantine that zone to make sure it didn't spread. To make sure that more lives were not killed than needed. Would you have gone against my words that are from an education of a lifetime, from somebody who has brought more life into this world than you have taken out of it? Would you have then also thought that I was wrong?
Yes.
Why, Frankie? Why would you want such a thing to spread to every single person, rather than making the choice? And if you think that choice, or the one for the Bedouins, was an easy one, no choice like that is, Frankie. I don't make these choices lightly. I just don't dwell on what I know is the correct choice.
Dr. Wright, in the Bible, it states that you should leave the fruit at the outside of your farm for people walking by who can't afford to buy it. And that's lepers, the poor, whatever it may be, so they can eat your food and continue living. You would not leave fruit. I see that now. You are not the man I thought you were.
Then you were sadly mistaken, Frankie. And I'm saddened by that.
Life is hard. Life is sad.
It is. Well, then at least I know I tried to explain it to you. I guess we just have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, guess so.
All the while as you guys are talking, the campfire light is, by small amounts, getting brighter. And if you look over, you'll see that it's being built up. And you are noticing that, you guys are noticing that it is cold. And at some point, the Bedouins will start bringing in camp gear to set up tents and to set up sleeping, basically bedrolls, etc., around the campfire. There's a second smaller campfire that eventually gets built as well.
We should move him closer.
So I'll say we should, if you could please do that, Frankie. My head's still rattling a lot. Frankie, I can see that our dealings are probably going to come to an end, and that I guess we can't consider ourselves friends anymore, can we?
I would be surprised if you did already.
And I'll reach a hand out to put it on your shoulder, and I'll stop, see if you stop me, and I'll put it on you. All right. Then let me give you a parting gift. Frankie, add arbitrum to est. At that word, you should feel a pretty significant migraine. Because what I'm doing is I'm undoing your keyword.
Whoa.
So you're going to probably get a massive migraine as all these little tiny cogs and things that have been put mentally into your brain are breaking down. I'm going to say, go be free, Frankie. But know that everything that I've ever done was because I considered you a friend.
Like migraine?
Like migraine.
Yeah, like a piercing ice pick right behind the eye.
I probably can't even hear you then.
Oh. And then I'll come close and I'll whisper in your ear. Don't worry, you won't remember the pain of this. But just know it was for the best. So, hope you enjoy your freedom. And so then I'll stand up and I'll motion to Cal. Cal, could you come help me with Dr. Wolfe? It seems
comes over.
Frankie is a bit of a migraine.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes.
Well, can you do something for him? As Cal picks up Wolf's front, or
I'll say,
Wolf's head.
I've done all I can for Frankie, and I'll wink at Cal.
All right, so you drag him close to the fire for now. The Bedouins are starting to set up camp and set up the tents, starting to get people into the tents. At some point, it's going to click to you that Billings did what you said.
Oh, Christ, Billings! Billings, come out! Oh, jeez. I'm gonna quickly turn around and go running over there.
So, Raya, wits perception roll. Frankie, wits perception roll. I know that both of you would continue to watch
I'm just
Malcolm.
13.
23.
23.
It's
So
amazing what happens when your mind is freed.
Raya's not going to connect it, but as you kind of come out of that pain and that migraine, and you kind of start to focus back in, you'll be looking out towards the two fires, and there's a good amount of wood has been brought in. If they're planning something bad, they're
gonna
maybe
be
what
warm.
they do is burn you guys, because they are doing a great job of bringing dry in. But when Wright hollers out, Billings, you'll see that Malcolm again kind of looks over where you guys are at, and then disappears again out to go get more. So Billings comes in, and he comes in, wouldn't be with Zosser, because, yeah, wouldn't be with Zosser. He comes in, he says, yes, is it good to come? Is it safe?
Oh, it's good you're still here. Yes, my boy.
Where would I be?
Well, I'm just glad that you stayed hidden. You did great, my boy. I'll dust some sand off of him. I'll say, let us go back to the fire. It's going to be getting cold. Now,
It
where's
is very cold.
Zosser?
I think it was Abrax came and got him a few moments ago.
Oh, excellent. Okay, and I'll say, well, let's go back.
So you guys go. You sit around the fire. You're warming up. Wolfe is laid out by the fire. At some point, somebody's going to have to drag him into the tent. Ayden is out? Is that right? Okay, so at some point, Cal and Maruda can say, should we bring Ayden into the tent?
Yes, we should bring both Ayden and Wolfe into the tent. It would be
Okay.
better for their healing.
So the Bedouins are going to head in. Wolfe and Ayden are inside. What that leaves is Frankie and Raya, you, Dr. Wright. Cal goes in, but Marud is sitting out with you, and Billings. So when the Novus Day come back in, and Malcolm sets the stuff down, he looks over. You guys can all see him. He's not hidden, but he comes into the firelight. And he looks over, he says, Arthur? And Billings kind of shakes a little bit and focuses and says, Malcolm? And we'll end right there.
No, that's my 20%.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. To stay on top of everything we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook, all at NCRP Productions. You can show your support and help us continue to produce content by joining our Patreon. We offer additional podcasts like our B-Sides and have GM materials, maps, and other fun things you can discover over time. You can find our podcasts on YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, and many other fine podcast sites. Just look for us at NCRP Productions. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave us feedback or comments. And if you would like to contact us directly, you can email us at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.